Michigan and Ohio State have as heated a rivalry as there is in college football, both on the field and the recruiting trail. While the Buckeyes have consistently won out with some of their shared top targets, it's been the Wolverines who have taken home the last two matchups between the programs on the field. 2024 will be no different, as the two are already set up for a handful of momentum recruiting battles in the Midwest. Here are 5 prospects to watch with the Buckeyes and Wolverines that are both in hot pursuit of. Let's look at these Ohio State versus Michigan recruiting battles. You got 4-star cornerback Bryce West, 4-star running back Jordan Marshall, 4-star edge Elias Rudolph. 2 for 1 here. 4-star offensive tackle Deontay Armstrong and 4-star edge Devontae Armstrong. They're twins. Then we move on to 4-star quarterback Jaden Davis. Let's bring on Chad Simmons of On3 to find out which way he's leaning in some of these battleground recruitments. So let's start with 4-star corner Bryce West. He's from Glenville High School, the powerhouse high school of Ohio, the number 4 ranked corner in the country. Chad, where are you leaning on Bryce West?
Yeah, Josh, hard to go against Ohio State with a kid from that program that's fed the Buckeyes over the years. But yet, this is Clinksdale versus Tim Walton. He's been to Michigan numerous times as well, just like he has Ohio State. But I have to lean towards the Buckeyes right now for Bryce West.
All right, let's move on to 4-star running back Jordan Marshall out of Cincinnati, Ohio. 5'10 and a half, 190 pounds. Great back with speed and power. Released a top 4 that includes Michigan, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Wisconsin. Chad, which way you leaning for the Cincinnati product?
This one's tight. We may have to come back to this one, Josh. I think more like a push for this one. It's extremely tight and to go either way. I think, obviously, you mentioned 4 schools in the Final Four. I think right now it's tight at the top between Michigan and Ohio State. And Michigan's been on him longer, more consistent. Ohio State's come on strong here late. If I had to lean one way when a race is this tight, it's hard to go against the in-state program, Ohio State Buckeyes. But again, this one's extremely tight.
Yeah, and we're going to circle back on all these recruiting battles, especially between rivalry schools like Ohio State and Michigan. So who knows? Next time we check in with you, your answer might be different. Let's talk about 4-star edge Elias Rudolph. He's an On300 prospect, 6'3", 200 pounds. He's been picking up a lot of interest. He even got a couple offers out of the South this month, UGA and FSU to name a few. But he's in the middle of Big Ten country. Chad, which way you leaning on Elias Rudolph?
Yeah, the interesting twist here, Josh, is he just moved from Cincinnati down to Deerfield Beach, Florida. Does this hurt Ohio State or Michigan? That's still to be determined. But right now, if I had to pick one, I'd lean towards Ohio State. He's very familiar with the program. He knows that coaching staff. He's a top target for both. But even being down in South Florida, we know Ohio State can do some damage down there as well. I like where the Buckeyes sit right now out of the 2.
All right, Chad, let's do a little 2 for 1 right here. We got a pair of twins, the Armstrong twins. Deontay, he's a 4-star edge, and Devontae Armstrong, he's a 4-star offensive tackle. You got to imagine when they go in the backyard, they can probably get some pretty good reps in against each other. But, Chad, which way you leaning on these twins?
Well, they're going together. We know that for sure. I think they grew up in a family of Ohio State fans. They went to Columbus before they had the offer, went back after they had the offer. They plan to be back multiple times this spring and summer. It's hard to go against the Ohio State Buckeyes right now. I like where Coach Fry, Coach Day, and that staff sits with the big twins there in Ohio.
All right, guys, before we move on to 4-star quarterback Jaden Davis, do me a favor and subscribe to that On3 YouTube page. We're doing something special here, and we want you to be a part of it. Hit subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. All right, 4-star quarterback Jaden Davis. We're in the beginning of March, and I figured Jaden Davis would already be committed to Michigan, but he's not. So now Ohio State has entered the picture for the number 4 ranked quarterback in the country. Chad, he's out of North Carolina. Which way you leaning on this one?
Yeah, the Buckeyes have tried to re-enter the picture here. This time a year ago, I would have leaned towards Ohio State. Fast forward now to 2023, March 1st. I like where Michigan's at. Even though they're going through an OC change, Sharon Moore taking over as the OC for Jim Harbaugh. He's going up there in a couple of weeks. If the visit goes well, again, I said this before, I think he could commit here soon. I think Michigan's definitely in the driver's seat. Ohio State has a lot of ground to make up to get back up to where Michigan's at for Jaden Davis.
All right. Thanks, Chad, for weighing in on some of these Michigan-Ohio State recruiting battles. We'll check back with you soon.
Sounds good.